middle of July and I thought I would just give you a little look round to see how everything is getting on. It's beautiful and sunny outside. We have had some rain. We had some rain yesterday, which was really good, but the garden is coming along very, very well, and the stuff in the greenhouse is doing really well as well. So I just thought I would show you I've got some lovely melons to show you. Some chilies, aubergines are growing, tomatoes are doing really well, the inside and the outside. In fact, I actually think that next year what I will do is I will plant all my tomatoes outside, because they're actually doing much better outside than they are inside. So I'm going to have a reshuffle next year and grow things in slightly different ways. But that's next year. Let's concentrate on this year. The cucumbers have been doing really well. I've harvested a couple. There is actually one there that needs to be harvested, but lots more coming. So let me stop talking and let me show you how everything is getting on. These are some of the chilies. I've got some lovely long ones here. I think they might be the cayennes. I've got lots of different varieties, and some I've labelled and some I haven't, but it's just an interesting thing to see what happens. I'm not that fussed. This one I believe is a sweet pepper. It's growing brilliantly. They're all green at the moment, although there are some, I hope you can see these ones here. They've just started. I think these might be the California Wonder, because they change. They're usually quite small anyway, and they tend to change quite quickly. So they've gone from green to purple. There's loads of flowers. So they are coming along nicely. I've got a load more behind here, and I've got some over here as well. I don't think you can see these ones, but my razzmatazz ones are coming out. There's loads of flowers just starting to open, and there is some fruit that has actually started to form. So the chilies are coming along brilliantly. They're coming along nicely. They're very, very small, but I've got loads of flowers, and so far I've got another few fruits just sort of on the left hand side, and they're all about that sort of size. So to be honest with you, I don't mind if they don't get huge. I just like getting some aubergines. So they seem very, very happy in the greenhouse at the moment. I keep them well watered, and they seem to be doing quite well. The bees are, and the flies and all the other pollinators are doing all their jobs properly, because they're pollinating these flowers and then they're setting, which is great. So I will keep you updated on those, but so far I'm very pleased. Hopefully you can see the melons. I've got, I think, 4 so far. So I've got one up here, which is looking really good. They're quite heavy actually. I've got another one here, which is a bit smaller, and I've got a little diddy squit one right down the bottom. I'm not sure, there we are, you can see that. And then right down, oh, must be very careful, right down the bottom here, there's another one just there. I've got lots of flowers on them, so hopefully I'll at least get 5, because there's 5 of us. There's a tiny one just growing there, so hopefully I'll get 5, and because there's 5 of us in the house, and then we can all have one each. Here I've got my beans. I've got my runner beans growing here, and then I've got my French beans at the back there. The runner beans, they're enormous. They're really long. I think these ones are called Guinness records, so they're supposed to be long. But make sure, I think this one is actually a little bit too big. It might be all right actually. If you leave them for too long, then they'll actually get quite stringy. So what I will do with all my French beans, usually I pick them when they're about that size, you know, that fat. So they're not they're not stringy, but actually that one might be all right. But what you need to do with these, oops, a bit windy, is you need to top and tail them, take the side bits off, and then if you've got one of those little gadgets that you put the beans through and it chops them up into nice long strips, great. I don't know where to find one of those. My mum's got one. She's had it for years. I assume she's still got it, but I want to find one of those, but I don't seem to be able to find one. I'm sure I will if I look online somewhere. And the French beans are doing absolutely excellently. I do have some black fly here, but they're not all over, they're just over a few. Now, oh, there's a few on there, let's just scrape those off. That's the sort of size that you want your French bean to be. And all you need to do with your French beans is to just take the top and the tail off, and you don't need to take any of the side bits off. I tend to sort of cut them into 2 or 3 and then just boil them for a little while, and then put some butter on them and some nice salt, which is really, really nice. So I need to pick some of these for dinner tonight. So if you do find that some of your beans have gone too far, like this one, early on in the season, what I tend to do is I will pick those. But when we get later on into the season, if I have got any like that, I will leave them and then save the seeds for next year. But I won't do it at the beginning of the season, because the more you pick, the more they'll produce. And if you leave any of these ones that have gone over on the plant, then you'll end up with fewer beans. So that's those. I'm not sure if there's anything else I really need to show you. I think I might harvest a few carrots, so we could do that. Sweet corn's coming along fine. The brassicas are doing absolutely amazingly, which is great. The spring onions, let me show you the spring onions actually, because they're just they've gone mental this year, and I'm well chuffed. Here what I've got is the last of the peas. I have got some more that I will harvest the rest of them for dinner tonight, but any that have sort of gone too far, I will keep the seeds and I will just save those for next year. But these are the spring onions. You can see them, can't you? Yes, these are the spring onions. They've just been growing unbelievably. We keep harvesting them. You can see that we've harvested those, but I've got the rest of the line to go. But they've been doing absolutely amazingly. They're brilliant. So if they do get too large, I mean this isn't too large, but if they do, then what you could do is you could just sort of take the roots off, take the top off, and then just roast the bulb on its own, and then chop up the stem and just use that as decoration. The beets are doing brilliantly. I just keep harvesting those as and when we need them. But I do need some carrots. Oops, you can see the carrots there, they are. They're doing excellently. I did start to thin them out, but then they've just grown so much, and I'm just sort of going, okay, well, we'll just harvest them as gradually work our way up the line, which is working very well. So I've got some there, and I've got another line down there. So parsnips are doing great. It's all going really well, which is fabulous. I just thought I should show you my courgettes. Now they're here. I think I've got 3 plants here, and they have been going absolutely mental. So I've actually got some in here that I need to harvest, which are actually too big really for courgettes, but it doesn't matter. Now you can either cut using a knife and cut them off, but these are quite large. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to twist. Just get hold of the bottom and just twist. So there's one. I spotted another one in here. Oh my goodness. Now, there was a thing of, if you had a certain variety this year of courgettes, to be aware, because they were actually causing you to be very ill. Mine are seeds from last year, so they're not. So if you do, it was on the DT Brown website, It's all over the place, so do check with your seed company which variety. I think it was a zucchini variety of courgettes, but yes, they are courgettes, but they've just got a little bit too big. I have also got some yellow stripy ones, and there's a couple ready which are actually proper sized, so I'll just twist those off, and there's loads more coming. What I like to do with courgettes is I like to chop them up into sort of 3/4 inch chunks and saute them with garlic and onions, and I find that that is really nice. You could, if you wanted to, make chutney. Oh look, there's another one. But once they start, they just keep going on and on. Or you could make some bread, some courgette loaf. There's the yellow ones. Or you could just cut them up into chunks and freeze them. It's entirely up to you. So yes, I love these ones. They're so nice. They're so pretty. So they're growing really well. I do have another variety here, which I think is called Grilla. Oh yes, there they are. They're growing. They're not quite ready yet. At the back, I do have some butternut squash. I have no idea how they're doing. I can't actually get to them at the moment, but obviously I don't need to harvest those until the autumn anyway, because the skins have got to cure. So they can just do what they do, and then that's fine. So yes, I think we might be having some courgettes as well with dinner tonight. So yes, we're having turkey. Leftover turkey from Christmas, which I found in the freezer. So I'll put that with some gravy and some potatoes from the garden and loads of veggies from the garden. It's so nice, I love it. Well, these are some of the tomatoes. I've got loads of tomatoes in the greenhouse. They are producing really well. The indigo blue, the little tiny cherry ones, they aren't quite ripe yet, but they are getting there. As I say, these ones haven't actually done as well as the ones that are in the bed, so which is why next year what I'm going to do is I will grow them all in the raised bed, but that may well change. But that's what I would like to do next year. But they're doing well. They're starting to turn. We keep picking them, so they're doing great. I did just pick and dig up a load of carrots for dinner. So we've got some lovely little round ones here, which are great. A lovely little purple one with 2 legs. A yellow one that I'm not quite sure what on earth it's doing. Nice straight one there. And these ones I'm so chuffed with. They are lovely, really, really nice. So I'll pick the peas, and we can have those and some other bits and pieces, some beans as well, with dinner tonight. Well, that's how everything is getting on in my garden. I have sown, and because those peas are finished, I've sown another lot of peas, and they're about so tall. I have sown another lot of lettuce, just sprinkled a load of seeds in. I've got a Belfast sink just that side of you, just there, so they've just started to germinate, so they're about 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch tall. I've just sowed some more rocket because the rocket had finished. So yes, it's producing well, it's getting along quite happily. Well, I hope your garden or your allotment or your fruits and veggies are doing really, really well this year, and I hope you're enjoying everything that you're harvesting. Well, I hope you've found what I've shown you useful, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye-bye.